You had mentioned when we were talking a little earlier that this is your first time ever running for office. Was there any particular event or situation that really spurred your decision to run?
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This was all out of this was all out of a tongue-in-cheek comment I made. To be honest with you, if you guys have been following, like Twig has been following me on my other social media, I made a comment about Byron Donalds because he got on TV as a grown man
Remember?
and he was like Daddy's home talking about our current president. And I'm just sitting there
I
as a
remember.
man and I'm just like, look here, man.
It ain't my daddy.
If this guy decides he's gonna run for governor, I promise y'all I will run for governor because I refuse to let this man be the governor of Florida. And then a few months later, he decided he's gonna run for governor. I was like, man, I'm a word. So
You gotta do it.
I was like, all right, let me look into seeing how this whole election thing works. And I looked up the qualifications. I'm a very pragmatic person, so I looked at what was realistic. So I said, let's look up the qualifications to run for governor. And I looked. I said, yeah, no, that ain't happening. Then I said, all right, let's go down steps. So I looked at the Senate. I was like, long shot, but nah, let's look for something a little bit better. So I eventually looked at my congressional district, and I was surprised to learn what my district was made of, and it was basically my home. And I looked at my current representation, and I was like, So I looked up his voting record. I looked up, all the things that he'd done in the community. That took zero point 0.8 seconds because it wasn't really a lot that he's done in the community.
Fair enough.
So I was like, all right. I talked with my wife. I said, hey, this is something that I think that I can do. This is something that I think will impact even more lives than I already do as a public servant. All jokes aside, between the attacks on the immigrant community, being that my wife is a child of an immigrant, specifically a Haitian immigrant, and as we know during the election time, they got real disrespectful.
Oh
Talk
yeah.
about Haitian immigrants, and I've never seen my wife be that upset about something. So that kind of, I ain't like to see my lady mad, and that kind of infuriated me a little bit. And then just seeing how, studying history, studying politics, studying how these things have worked, and to see where we are now with such a wealth gap between the top 1% and everybody else. And looking at all the propaganda that is spewed, looking at all the fighting, making sure that we're down here like, I hate you and I hate you, as opposed to like, wait a minute, I'm broke and you broke. Why we hate each other?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no, for
man,
sure.
you broke, I'm broke, I ain't got a dollar
We're
to roll.
both
We're like,
broke.
we both broke. What we doing, man?
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know what? We need just a complete overhaul